Good morning, YouTube. Happy Friday. So, I've been really pushing my DNC tool to every call center I speak to. I'm talking to you about this tool. Why? Because one, it's owned by a publicly traded company that's US based. They have a real-time DNC scrubbing system that the cost of it is just ridiculously cheap. But over the course of the last few weeks, I've been able to participate in some of these Skype groups for my groups in Pakistan. And it's funny to me to see some of you guys, a lot of you guys, really rely on these litigator lists. I mean, you guys are really pumping each other up, man. That's funny. But here's a question that none of you can answer. When you are cold calling on raw data, the law says that you cannot call on a number that's on the do not call registry. So if you are calling on raw data and you're scrubbing it with a litigator list, and then whatever comes at the end of that litigator list you're dialing on, how does that comply with the national and state do not call registry when you get a complaint? I'm curious, because a lot of you guys get a shitload of complaints. You guys never talk about that. So how does that make sense? Because the law doesn't state that you can either check the DNC registry or you can check the litigator list. The law doesn't say that, unless I'm missing something. But I doubt it. And most of these centers, overseas especially, as well as stateside, they're relying on these litigator lists as the holy grail of DNC compliance. And that is not right, because these TCPA litigator lists are doing just that. They're providing you a list of all the litigators known in the US of A that have filed a lawsuit for TCPA or DNC. But that's not what the law states. So if you're dialing on raw data and you're using these litigator lists and you haven't gotten a lawsuit, I promise you, it's not if, it's only a matter of when you get that lawsuit. And I also will remind you that when your customer receives the lawsuit, he's going to expect you overseas to pay for the lawyer to answer to that response, unless you can answer yourself. Unless you know the laws, then you can answer for your customer. But I know for a fact, because I've seen it already, that when your client or yourself goes to the judge and says, Your Honor, I didn't check with the DNC, I checked with the BLA, the litigator list. I promise you this. The judge is going to say, you lose. And you have to pay the fine. Because there's nothing in the law book that states that the litigator list scrubbing is going to take you off the hook. And it's really disappointing to see a lot of you big pillars in Pakistan that have 400 or 500 people in your centers, and you guys are using this method, which is bullshit, and not really investing in getting your SANS numbers in the U.S., partnering up with companies that have the right mechanism to scrub those numbers every day. You're not doing that. Most aren't. I would say 90% of centers aren't. You guys are relying on these litigator lists. For the last few weeks, I've been promoting my tool. Again, why? It's American-based, publicly traded company, and their DNC tool is real. It's updated. No gimmicks. And to give you an example of the cost, $10 allows you to scrub 80,000 records. $10. Now, in the country of Pakistan, this tool was blocked. This company doesn't do business in Pakistan. They blocked it because some online hackers try to hack into their system, so they blocked out the country several years ago. But the good thing is, they've given me, my company, Herrera Insurance Marketing, Herrera BPO Services, an exclusive deal where we can allow call centers in Pakistan with your IP address key. We can allow you access where you can do volume dips every single day with a real, accurate DNC system. I know what I'm saying. For some of you haters, you think I'm just trying to sell you this tool. I'm not going to do it for free, because what I had to do to negotiate to get this approved in the country of Pakistan, I need to get paid. But what it's going to cost you is nothing compared to not being paid on an invoice because you didn't do it by the books. You getting sued because you didn't do it by the books. I have a center that I know that they had to pay $15,000 to their client for a DSC violation, and they ran their information through all these litigator lists. Didn't stop it from having to pay $15,000. And I know a few others that this happened to. Many. So again, if you're watching this, you have a call center, which whether it's overseas or statewide, this tool is real-time updated DNC. And if you're cold calling, you definitely need it. Send me your information. I'll get you a demo. The demo will allow you to check 10 numbers an hour and cross-reference it. Cross-reference all the numbers. I challenge you. And you're going to see what I'm talking about, that these BLA lists, litigator lists are not accurate. And if they're not accurate, they are putting you and your customers at risk of a DNC violation. And a DNC violation can be $43,000. And if you get a DNC violation, it will trigger automatically a TCPA violation that can be upwards of $1,500 per violation, because you can't call someone that's on the DNC without written consent. So if you'd love to learn more about it, check out my channel. I have a lot of this on my channel. I talk about this for years, but now more than ever, agents are struggling because they're starting to see those lawsuits show. Call me. I'll share more information. Peace.